In this video, I'm back. I'm back to where it all started in 2021. So join me and find out where I am. Roll titles. Well, hi YouTube, Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy with you once again. Yes, I am still the Micro Four Thirds Guy. I haven't given up the title or anything, but keep watching till the end because I've got a message for someone. One of my commenters. Keep watching to the end, you'll find out what it is. Anyway, that's for later. I'm at a little place called Gilsland in Cumbria, and on a Sunday afternoon in January 2021. I came up here because I'd been confined to barracks, having had COVID for 10 days. And, well, I hadn't had COVID for 10 days, I'd had COVID for about 3 days. I wasn't well, I had a bit of a cold for 3 days. But because of the restrictions at the time, I was confined to barracks. I wasn't allowed out by law. Just trying to get over this cattle grid before I killed myself. And the Sunday was the end of the 10 days period. Now, I've done a couple of videos previously on the channel. I've done a few videos previously on the channel, all sorts of things, but, well, nothing had really gripped. Nothing had really said, do some videos, do lots of videos. And when I got there, that 10 days had just been too much for me. I don't like being confined into the house and things, especially not in the cold. In the winter months, they're horrible. And so I drove my car, drove up to this place, which is on Hadrian's Wall. I'll just give you a quick scan around. Let's see what we can do on this one. There we are. So that is part of the infamous Hadrian's Wall. We'll go up there in a second and have a look. And you'll see a few cars go past, or hear a few cars go past. I'm right beside the road. But that is part of Hadrian's Wall. And we're just inside Cumbria. So we're right on the edge of the Cumbria-Northumbria border. I came out and I brought out my OM1. Yes, I will still mention cameras, I will still mention it, because a few people have said in the comments that I'm leaving Micro Four Thirds. I'm not. I'm just not going to concentrate on all the silly reviews. And thanks for all the comments, by the way. There's some phenomenal comments. Huge load of them, and some really encouraging ones. Thank you very much, because I really do appreciate it. But I'll still be out here, still using Micro Four Thirds. I haven't left the format. It's still the most spot-on format for what I need. But I am wanting to have that little bit of elbow room, stick my elbows out. As my sister said to me yesterday, it's my house. I decide what goes on in it. This channel is my house. So I'll just put my elbows out a little bit so I don't get too constrained. But yes, I will still be using my Micro Four Thirds cameras. But not waffling on about the technology so much. So yes, I brought my E-M1 along with me, and different lens, because the lens I had then doesn't exist anymore. Don't know how long this video is going to go on for either, because it's starting to rain and the Osmo Pocket 3 is not very good in the wet. It's not weather sealed. But yeah, I came up here and I'm going to show you some of the things which I took photos of. I'll take a couple of photos here just to show you, but let's see what I can do. I'll swing this around again. And we're going to go down here beside the wall. And that's actually not too bad, a little shot along there. So let's see what we can do with this shot from here using the camera. Why I'm looking at this shot, by the way, I might as well start describing one of the things that's going through my mind. I'm a little bit of a height over the wall. The wall was considerably higher than this in its day. But that was nearly 2,000 years ago. But I just see the trail of the line across and the grass leading up to the house. It just gives a nice bit of a leading line into that. Going to have a fairly medium exposure on aperture on this, because I actually want to get most of it in. I might even go to a fairly closed down aperture, because I actually want everything to be in focus. But my main point is probably going to be the White House, as the wall on the White House. But I want to be showing the track, the grass and the wall and the fence all converging on the same place. So let's see how we get on. And I've done a couple of shots here. One is using a wide angle lens, and that really gives that sort of coming together of the lines, the convergence of the lines really well. I've also zoomed in a little bit, not a photograph that I would like to take normally, which shows more of the house, but you've lost all of that converging lines, and I think it loses some of its enjoyment on it. So let's just have a little wander down to the wall itself. As I say, the wall would have been 10 or 12 foot high minimum in its day. It's only about 3 foot high here now, because a lot of the stone which was on this wall over the centuries has been taken for local buildings, and it's been reappropriated. Now I'm going to take a little shot down here actually, and again probably the wide angle lens, but I'm going to try a vertical one first, and then I'll see what happens with the horizontal. I think the vertical one might actually suit this, but again I think a fairly wide angle lens to get that convergence of the lines, and we'll see what this is like. Now the last 2 shots were shot at f10. As I say, I want to get, I want most of it to be in focus. I want a really long depth of field. And that's where micro four thirds comes in nicely. People going about the shallow bokeh not being able to be done on micro four thirds because of the effective doubling of the aperture compared to the depth of field available. Well, that may be true, but it has a converse effect. And if you see some of the great photographers of the past, and a lot of the landscape photographers, that ability to get a really wide depth of field without getting too much into the refraction on the lens is a real bonus. So what we have here, we've got one of the small little guard posts here. We're just coming into it. Let's have a little look. It's all local sandstone here, you can see. And this will be a little guard post just to give them shelter. In fact, I think that there is a sign inside which actually describes what this is. So let's go inside and have a little look. And as you can see what it's like now, it's sort of a couple of feet high. Not particularly daunting to anybody trying to get past, but let's see what it was like in older days. And you can see an artist's impression of what this would have been like. So the guards actually were able to stand on. This is a turret number 48A, or a Roman watchtower. And as you can see on there, quite a big building. So there's an awful lot of stonework gone. And you can see with the guards standing on top of the wall, that the wall was actually a platform to be guarded along. As we look out over the top, I find this fascinating. As you look over there and think 2,000 years ago, we had Roman soldiers overlooking these same views in this very same place, standing on the same spot I'm standing on now. That really puts it in perspective a little bit. There was 2,000 years ago, there was a Roman soldier on the exact spot I'm standing. So let's just have a little look across the wall here. As I say, the majority of the wall has been taken. It's a really good little place as well. We've got, you see walkers in the background, you'll find that an awful lot of people walk the wall. It's quite a recreational thing. Let's see if I can take a photograph up here and see what sort of results we get. I'm not totally sure it's going to be good because it's a little bit too cluttered. It's one of those things you look at and you think, yeah, I'm sure there's something good there because it impresses me to look at here, but doesn't necessarily translate onto a photograph. So let's see what we can do. Again, one of those sort of difficult shots because it looks as if it's going to be interesting, but of course, in that small image that you see on the camera producers, what you actually get is a very cluttered image. So although it looks a really good, interesting thing to see, it's difficult to keep it decluttered. It does tend to get a little bit sort of awkward to get a good shot out of. Now walking down the wall, and I'll take another shot here. These old farm paths, there was these paths were here, again when the Romans were here, but obviously not in the format they are now, but there was always a road along the back. In fact, there was, if you watch one of my earlier Roman wall videos, you can find that there was actually paths along the whole wall behind, but also gullies and ditches, so people couldn't, even if they got over the wall, there was still something to do. So let's just have a little look and see where I can get photographs from here. Now, I said about having fun in photography a little while ago, and this to me actually is fun. I might not take actually many photographs, quite often that I don't, but I am getting out in the countryside a little bit, seeing some of the sights. There's a little stream down the right hand side. You'll not be able to see that, but I can hear it. It's down at the bottom of a gap, which the wall itself would have gone along the edge of, so it makes it very, very difficult to penetrate through when you've got a river between you and the far side. Now, I've reached a bit of a natural break in the wall here, where it doesn't exist anymore. You can get slightly behind it on the other side, but down in that ditch there is the river, way down, probably 100 feet below us. Now, as I said before, thanks very much to all the people who said some wonderful comments. I did get a couple of bad ones, but you know what? As I say, it's my house. I make the rules. I deleted them. I don't care. I don't care. I care about the people who care about me, and I care about the people who care about the channel, and I care about the people who give the time up to watch my videos, because I really do appreciate you. Too little time for hate. Too little time for hate. Anyway, we can see. Let's have a little look down here. The wall that we left is just the other side of those trees, but now we've got some almost ground level wall. Still original wall, but so much of it taken, it's ground level. And if I just walk to the edge here, you might be able to see in the distance, if I don't fall down. I really don't want to fall down there. But down there is a river. You can just see it the other side of the fence, sitting down the bottom, with the trees growing around them. I see the wall meandering its way all the way along to the west. We're looking out to the west here. And here we are at what would have been the differentiation line between England and Scotland as it was seen then. Obviously, if you go towards the east now, the Scottish border is another 70 miles north of it. From here, it's about 15 miles, and from Carlisle, probably about 10 miles. But we've got some great little shots we can get here. It's difficult to get down, so I'm not going to try. I've got Crocs on. I don't have proper shoes on, unfortunately. But let's have a little look back along the wall there, and I'll see if I can get a shot of this. You know, sometimes you don't have to have the most professional looking shots. You don't have to have the most alluring shots. Sometimes these shots can just provoke memories, and sometimes it can be something of a record. Because if you think about it, this is recording where a 2,000-year-old wall is now. In 100 years' time, this will look totally different what it does at the moment, but the photographs I'm taking may one day be picked up by somebody, and because of the date stamps and things, they'll be able to see actually what the wall was like now. And there's an awful lot of good that can come from this, because archaeologists use whatever tools they have, whatever information they have, to be able to improve their knowledge. And although I can see all this now, goodness knows what's left of it in 100 years. Someone could come down and bulldoze the lot. Somebody could try rebuilding it. That's been known to be happening in various places. And with that, you've lost where it is at the moment. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. But this is a record in October 2024 as to what Hadrian's Wall looked like at Gilsland. Look at the texture on the moss. Let's see if we can get into this a little bit. Look at the fabulous texture that you get on the moss on the stones. Lush green. Really, really nice. And if we pull into here, you can see a lot of the wildlife's left things behind. These little shells from nuts and berries and all sorts of things that you get as part of the eco chain here, where animals have left them or where they've left and decayed. I find this whole thing really fascinating. Now, this is what inspired me to actually start the channel, I wanted to share things like this with you, with people like yourselves, people who will never see this. I know they've got people all over the world who tune into this channel to see the photography bits and pieces, and I'm always fascinated seeing videos from everywhere else, because where I am is unique. It really is a unique place. You don't have this in North America, you don't have it in most of Europe, but you do have it here. And that's not saying that you don't have anything better or worse, but you don't have these particular type of stone. You don't have this foliage, you don't have this climate. And so, to give you the opportunity to see what I see, it's fun. But I get as much fun seeing where everybody else is like, because you have your own unique environment. You have your own unique attractions. Oh, just look at those red plants down there. Let's see if we can get this camera into that. I think that warrants a shot. Every so often in every environment you suddenly find something that stands out, that bright colour amongst the green, the orangey red. It's a lovely colour, that, actually. So yes, as I say, this is the first of the videos post the one where I signal my slight change of direction, and I thought it was best to come back to where it had already been, best to revisit somewhere, go back to the beginning, and as I said on the title of this one, have a new beginning. So this is the new beginning of the new That Micro Four Thirds channel. Micro Four Thirds Mark II. That Micro Four Thirds guy Mark II. Now that brings me on to what I said about before, one of the comments. I don't know how it was intended. It may have been intended in a pleasant way, it may have been intended in an aggressive way. So if it was pleasant way, then please accept my apologies for taking it to this conclusion. But Ishmael Rodriguez, thank you very much for your comment. However, you're not stealing that Micro Four Thirds guy moniker. Well, you can try stealing it and using it, but you won't be that Micro Four Thirds guy, because that's me. I actually think, you looked at your videos, you've got enough there that you should be able to make your own unique personality. Good videos. If you haven't seen them, Ishmael Rodriguez, have a look for his name in the comments and go and visit his channel. Subscribe to him. Another Micro Four Thirds photographer. However, he's not that Micro Four Thirds guy. That's me. And I'm retaining that title, but with a new beginning. It's a little bit like saying, I'm Neil Armstrong. Well, I could say that, but I'm not going to be the guy who walked on the moon the first time, or an astronaut. It's just a name. You need the character and the personality behind it. So Ishmael, you can try using it if you want to, but I'm keeping it. Get a new name for yourself. Or why not use Ishmael Rodriguez? Because it's a crackingly good name. And get known for your own photography on that. And if it was meant as a playful thing, then thank you. Because I can see where there would be a humour in it. However, just walking back, as I say, I've only been able to take a couple of photographs. I'm not taking many. I'm going to point across and take a photograph of the Micro Four Thirds mobile. What a rubbish photograph. Never mind. We're allowed to do rubbish photographs. I'll tell you what I do like though. We're getting reflections on that water of the sign on the side of the building, and I don't know where the best place to take it is, but I quite like the reflections of the sign and the trees on the water. Let's see what I can do with that, if there's anything or nothing. Not easy to see much, but it was worth a try. Do you know, that's one of the beauties about photography though. Any proper photographer, I'm not on about the ones who are the aspirational or the hypercritical ones, but I'm on a proper photographers, people who take photographs regularly and enjoy the photography. Whether amateur or professional, they'll all tell you that you don't always get the shot you want. Don't always get a shot when you go out there. Sometimes the shots just don't come through, and that's fine. I remember watching a program on some of the great fashion and portrait photographers, and I remember watching one with David Bailey in. David Bailey was, to me, a little bit of a hero of mine when it comes to photography. I loved his work, I really did. And I did find that I was surprised. He'd done a photo shoot with a top model, and yet I think he only got about 2 photos out of the whole lot. Just having a look on the back there. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that, but no, I think all you can see is a reflection of me. But I've got a reflection in the water. Let's see if I can see it on there. Yeah, you can just about see it. I've got the house at the top and the water at the bottom, and a nice clear reflection. Yeah, I think he must have taken 40 or 60 photographs. This was in the old film days, of course. And he had all the contact prints out. And most of them, by his words, not mine, were atrocious. They just weren't good photographs. Until one. And there was one that he looked at and he circled, and it did stand out. It stood out to me. It obviously stood out to him. But that was David Bailey. One of the world's top photographers had a keep ratio of about 1 out of 60. That's not a great keep ratio. But it just proves that there is more to photography than just pressing the shutter. Right, I'm back. Nice to see you again. Yeah, there's more to photography than just pressing the shutter. The composition is important. The surroundings are important. What's there? The perspective. Use of other things, like using the water there for the reflections. Textures. Contrasts. All those different things come into making a good photograph. So if you are a photographer and you take your camera out and you don't get photographs that you like or appeal, well, just sit down and analyse them yourself. You don't need an expert to analyse them, but just sit down and analyse yourself. You were there. You were there when it was taken. Why did you think it was a good photograph when you first took it, but later on were disappointed? What was missing from that photograph which your eyes saw? And that can give you all sorts of leads into perspective, lens choice, whether it was a zoomed in or a wide angle lens. All those things are important to you. What the texture was actually like on the things, the way that it altered the light as it hit. Where you saw something, were you seeing reflections that the camera didn't pick up? Did the texture stifle the light? Loads of things. Analyse your own prints and then go out the next time and try and bear those in mind as you take them. Was the depth of field too narrow? So all the things that you could see, because your eyes will adjust incredibly. Your depth of field is incredible. Was it just the fact that you had the aperture too far open and all the things that you saw and liked were out of focus? Or was it the opposite? You'd really want the separation because it's too cluttered. There's a cat just going past me there. Yeah, there's a little cat just going past. So yeah, hopefully this has been a different sort of video for me. The gear, and oh, by the way, what I was just saying about the about what you were taking photographs of, did you notice I didn't actually mention the gear? I just said, if you go out and take the photograph, I'll put the camera on the top of the car for the moment. Switch it off. But the gear really is secondary to the photograph. Yes, you need certain gear to be able to get certain types of photo. You're not going to get birds which are 300 meters away with a wide angle fixed lens on your camera. That's silly. But for the majority of photos, you'll probably find that you can get a good shot, especially if you're using something like a standard range zoom, because it's going to mimic what you see with the human eye. So give it a try. Don't be so hard on yourself if they don't turn out. Don't be so hard on yourself if you walk several miles and don't come back with any shots. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the photography. And enjoy having the ability to do these things. It really is something of a gift in life. Anyway, till the next time, I hope you've enjoyed this video. As I say, it's a bit of a different one. It's been a return, and it's reinvigorated my belief in my photography. Anyway, before I go, these wonderful people are my Patreon patrons, and they are the ones who've kept this channel going with their support. And also the people below who buy me a coffee. Now, I keep on saying it every time, but I really do mean it. Please consider giving me a subscribe in the little red box below, because it really does make a difference to the channel and getting the videos out to more people. While you're down there, hit the bell so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. And give me a thumbs up. You've got no idea how that really helps the video get sent to more and more people, so more and more people can see what I'm photographing. As I say, I hope you've enjoyed this slightly different video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.